Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Deputy Chief Chandler, your police department. I'm here with Rich and Taylor. We're here with a live update for you. We've had a really busy week in Mount Juliet, Wilson County in general, because it's back to school. So we're glad that some of you are watching us live right now. We will know others will watch us after this broadcast, not live later in the day and through the weekend. But hope everyone is having a wonderful day. It's beautiful out there. Taylor, Rich, How are y'all doing?
Doing good.
They're doing pretty good. All right, good deal. Taylor, it's your birthday, ain't it?
It is.
You want to tell
Happy
everyone how old
birthday!
you are?
I'll let everyone take their guesses.
Take the guesses. All right, so guess Taylor's age in the comments, and we'll see who the winner is.
We'll
But
tell you at the end if you're right.
yeah, we'll let everyone know at the end. So good deal, folks. Thanks
22.
for
We'll have to see.
Rich with 22. Yeah, good stuff. So with back to school this week, it's been super busy. As you know, you've probably seen our social media. We have been all in the different school zones throughout our community. And there's plenty of them. We have about 9 school zones in the city limits, and we always want to be sure that our school zones are safe. And during the first of the school year, there's always a traffic enforcement effort to really bring it to everyone's attention about the importance of safe school zones. We were pretty heavy at West Wilson Middle School. That school opened up after being destroyed since the 2020 tornado. So it's awesome to see that the new school is open, but everyone's also having to get used to the new traffic patterns around that area. So we've had a lot of officers and staff, from city staff to our police officers, to the school system. Everyone's been out trying to make that situation better. And I do believe a new traffic plan will come out over the weekend that will go in effect on Monday. So the school and the school system will communicate that out to parents. But myself, Chief Mullins, and the school's director, school principal, and representatives from our city traffic engineering all met and got together and worked on that new traffic plan. So it's a slight tweak to things. It'll allow more queuing on school property. It'll take that traffic queue off of Mount Juliet Road, and it'll also allow the buses to get in and out a lot faster to ensure they remain on their route timing like they should to keep everything going, because any type of delay really compounds the problem and leads to more delays throughout the day. So we're hopeful, optimistic that this new plan will be great. Since the start of the school, though, it seems like traffic has gotten better and better around that school as well. When everyone gets used to it, more students are riding the bus than they did the first couple of days of school, and it's kind of eased that traffic flow. So we hope through next week things will get even better. And just want to thank everyone for your patience through that back to school. With the traffic enforcement efforts and other school zones across the city, you can see our team has been very, very busy. Our detectives have been out working hard along with members of our command staff and our patrol teams. They've made 205 traffic stops. Out of that, 89 stops resulted in citations and 6 arrests were made. Those arrests were for one wanted person out of Kentucky and Middle Tennessee, and the other 5 had suspended driver's license. You can see the type of violations in those school zones. Speeding, non-moving violations would be like some registration issues, any type of issue related to the vehicle. You also see the cell phone use, careless driving, traffic control device would be your traffic signals or a stop sign. And then you also have the seatbelt violations. But we've been advertising it very, very heavy to please drive safe in school zones, that our officers will be out there. And of course, they're out there and they are finding violations, which you really don't want to see. Our police officers truly don't want to have to stop people and write citations. That is never a fun thing of the job, but it's necessary to keep our streets as safe as we can. Out of that, you saw only 43% of those who were stopped had citations issued to them. The others just got a warning. And with any traffic enforcement, the officers have that discretion whether they want to give a verbal warning or write a citation, and everyone has their different circumstances through that. And officers do have that discretion to choose what they feel is necessary to accomplish the goal of ensuring that motorist leaves the stop and continues to drive safe after the stop. So it's been busy. We're thankful for our team for all their hard work this week. Thankful for all of our specialized units who have replaced school zone efforts with their normal daily efforts just to help us keep every school zone in our in our mind to ensure that everyone is safe around those zones. And we'll continue school zone efforts throughout the year. We just don't do it the first couple of weeks. It'll continue at different moments throughout the school year as we keep things safe. So, Rich, you have the weekly update for us. How does that look?
Looking pretty good this week. It was a good week, as you already touched on some of our numbers for the last couple of weeks with the school zone traffic. But covering this week, we're covering August 1st through the 8th. And hold on, I got to click over there. Incident numbers this week, we had 1,249 police calls for service, and that should be 79 fire department calls. A little typo, sorry about that. 24 crime reports, 92 arrest charges, 717 traffic stops, 298 citations, 43 non-injury crashes, and 3 injury crashes. Of course, we like to see those crash numbers as low as we can, but that's not terrible for this time of year, being a pretty summer week. Not a lot of rain this week, folks being out and about. Of course, those numbers do have a lot of distracted driving crashes in them as usual, so we like to try and see those numbers as low as we can. And then getting into the crime reports for the week, we had top on the list at 12 fraud cases this week, 6 family disturbances, a couple of property damage, and you can see some burglary, embezzlement, and forgery and harassment in there this week. And on the arrest charges, some real good proactive numbers here this week. 24 driving on suspended or revoked driver's license, 18 traffic-related offenses, 13 warrants, 10 drug-related, 7 shopliftings, 4 DUIs, 3 move-overs. Those DUIs are staying on there pretty heavy the last several weeks. I know we haven't come to the lives the last few weeks, but those numbers have been up the last few weeks. And, again, it just has to do with being pretty weather, folks out enjoying themselves. You've got to be able to find an alternate way home. There's plenty of options out there. Call an Uber, call Lyft, call a friend. There's plenty of different options out there to be able to get home to keep yourselves and your family and friends safe. And with those move over laws, those numbers have been staying pretty consistent between 1 and 3 the last few weeks. That's just to make everybody safe. You guys safe, our responders safe. And it doesn't just apply to responders. It also applies to tow trucks as well, or anybody on the side of the road, the way the law is currently written. So anytime you see anybody on the side of the road with flashing lights, you need to make your best effort to move over and give them the room to work that they need, or slow down as much as you safely can. And of course, you see the alcohol-related and criminal impersonation, and you see the rest of the list there. So we had a pretty busy week this week. And then on to the neighborhood and school zone traffic efforts. Of course, all of our school zones, as Deputy Chief touched on already, Park Glen, Belinda Parkway, Pleasant Grove area, Jackson Hills, and Wintry, total of 153 stops, 100 citations, and 5 arrests. They've been really getting at it this week.
Yeah, Rich, speaking of the move over law, there's also part of that law when the emergency vehicle is the one moving, right? And then what you are supposed to do as a motorist to get out of that emergency vehicle's way. And I see it too often where people get in the turn lane and they really just pull right in front of the emergency vehicle. And that is so dangerous. If you ever see an emergency vehicle behind you, you're supposed to move to the right side of the road. And if that emergency vehicle is coming at you, you still move to the right side of the road. So that road in the center basically is a path now for that emergency vehicle. You never just pull into the turn lane. That's the worst place you can go. And even if you can't move to the right, just stay where you're at. Don't then jump over into the turn lane, because that's where that emergency responder is directing their vehicle, is down the center of the road. Never, ever pull your vehicle into the center of the road trying to get out of the way of an emergency vehicle. It's so dangerous, and we see it so often. And I don't know why, because they teach this in the driver manual before you drive, but we just see it quite a bit. And we're doing what we can to educate motorists to pull to the right when they see siren and lights. And then if you're coming up on a motor vehicle, stop on the side of the road, then you move away from that vehicle. But if it's moving, always move to the right for siren and lights.
And then on our Guardian Shield stats, top 3 that everyone really likes to see there: 180 stolen cars recovered, 75 stolen plates recovered, 129 wanted persons since we've had that program in place, doing some really great work with that system.
Absolutely.
And that's what I got for stats for you this week.
Yeah, speaking of Guardian Shield, Rich, we are contacting our HOA representatives and private property owners. There's a way to put that private property in connection with our Guardian Shield system. Basically, the HOA or the private property owner purchases a license plate reader camera, and then we get the alerts related to it if it's criminal related. Now, that private property owner or the HOA doesn't get the type of criminal justice data that we get as a police department, but the good thing is if they put that camera up and connect it to Guardian Shield, we are able to get those important alerts about criminal activity that could be entering the neighborhood and alerting our officers about it, such as stolen vehicles, known criminally involved vehicles, wanted people, any type of missing person, stolen plate. We would get those alerts. So just be looking for that communication. It'll come from one of our officers here to all of our HOA representatives and different business owners throughout the community to see if they are interested in partnering with Guardian Shield to expand the aspect of it. I see a question here from Lauren. Is the road a median? Do you pull to the shoulder for an emergency vehicle on the opposite side of the road? Just thinking of Golden Bear, for example. So if there is a divided median on a roadway or a barrier, you do not have to move to the right. Only vehicles on the same side of the road, just with the emergency vehicle, does have to move to the right. So good question, Lauren. Same with school buses that have their red flashing lights. And if there is a center divider, a grassy median, a concrete divider between the two different roads on that larger road, then the other traffic doesn't have to stop for the school bus. You're just supposed to proceed with some caution in those aspects. So good question, Lauren. Thank you. Good stuff. And Taylor, with back to school, you have some good safety tips that we see the different pictures all the time. And I know you cringe because you're all very knowledgeable about the investigative side of things. So let's put the first image here on our police officer, student, whoever going back to school.
Yeah, so these pictures do absolutely make me cringe. And I kind of just wanted to put it out there because I think a lot of people genuinely just don't think about it when they post these photos. It's fun to keep and you go back and you look at it and you keep track of it. But when you post this on social media, the whole world has access to it. And this is some really intimate information about your child. So who their teacher is, what school they go to, how old they are, things like that. So it's really easy for someone to figure out, okay, well, they go to this school, this is their name and this is their teacher. So it's really easy to hone in on where that child is all the time, looking up the hours of when the school dismisses, when they go in school, things like that. So I know these are great to keep. And if you want to do all those personal details for your child, just keep those on your camera roll or send them to friends and family. But if you want to post where your kid's going to school, the kind of landmarks of what your child's doing and things like that, just kind of alter those details a little bit. So like on the left, you can see what you should do. And on the right, it's what you shouldn't do. So for example, putting the date on there rather than where they go to school. Putting what they want to be when they grow up and how old they are. Those are all things that aren't, super personal. But as far as what school they go to and who their teacher is, those are details that I would really urge you to keep away from social media because it is really personal. And that's really only things that you as the parent and family member should know.
Yeah, good stuff. Sometimes you can just browse through someone's pictures and know everything about them.
Yeah.
And there are bad people out there that want to take from us, and
Yes.
they will do that and look through things
Yes.
about it. So you just have to be super careful. There's a lot of scams out there, and they use this information for those scams. And part of those scams, Taylor wants to go into a little bit that we've been experiencing locally here with our police department and our community. And really, it's a nationwide problem. But Taylor, what are you seeing with that?
Yeah, so we often see, and it's not just our department, it's kind of a nationwide thing, like Deputy Chief said, where people are posing as detectives or officers and saying that, you owe this amount of money to the court or to the police department. And if you don't pay this, they're going to do X, Y, and Z, or even that you have a warrant out for your arrest and you have to pay a certain amount of money or go turn yourself in. That's never going to happen. We're never going to contact you that way to tell you that you have to pay anything, or the court's not going to call you and say that you have to pay anything. They're definitely not going to tell you have to pay it over, a cryptocurrency platform or, things like that. So if you ever get a call for someone stating that they're from the Mount Juliet Police Department and you owe them money or you have a warrant out for your arrest, just stay aware and be smart. You can always call our department and just express that concern, and they'll push it over to someone in investigation so they can kind of walk you through the process and what to do and what not to do, and just kind of verify that information isn't true. But just for future, that's not going to happen. We're not going to call you and ask you for money or tell you have a warrant and we need you to pay us money or anything like that.
Yeah, great stuff, Taylor, on that. And it breaks my heart when you hear that and people have given so much money because they think they're wanted by the police department because they just got a phone call from some unknown person that said they had a warrant and they need to send Bitcoin or a bunch of gift cards here and there.
Right.
Folks, that type of call, I can promise you, it is false and fake. And please just come by and see us and talk to us before you ever make a decision to send a bunch of money to some stranger. We will be more than willing and to be as helpful as we can to ensure that you're making a good choice and not being scammed by anyone. That's why we're here as your police department. That's why we're open 24/7. You can call us anytime and we can help you through those hard decisions if you're not sure whether you need to send money to someone or not. And 99.999% of the time, the government is not going to call you and ask for money about stuff like that. So please don't give in to those scams and tell your friends, tell your family, tell your elderly friends, your elderly family members. Please ensure they know all of this. Talk a little bit about shout outs to Jackson Hills neighborhood. They hosted a night out against crime for us locally at their neighborhood, which we always love to go to. I believe this is our second or third year for that, and we had a great time out there. So you can see all of our officers on the pictures interacting with the neighborhood. They had food trucks and I think Starbucks was out there giving free drinks and different games and stuff. Our fire department was there. Many of the community members got to meet all of our police officers with Chief Mullins, myself, and even Mayor Manis was out there showing his support for Jackson Hills and for our police department, which we're always grateful for. So great time there. And if you couldn't make the Jackson Hills night out to meet us, we are going to be at Chick-fil-A on August the 16th in the evening for a special event, Coffee with a Cop evening edition. We'll be there from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We get a lot of people asking, hey, why don't you do the Coffee with a Cop in the evening because I can't make the mornings? Well, this is your opportunity. This August 16th from 6 to 8, we will be at the Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A are always great host for our Coffee with the Cops. There was a first place we ever did it when we started the program over 10 years ago. And we always love to go to Chick-fil-A because they take such good care of us down in Providence Marketplace. And Rich, you have some weather for us, and it looks a bunch of sunshiny weather, good temperatures too.
Yeah, this 7-day forecast looking pretty good for a change. Not a lot of worry about some rain, and not a lot of worry about some clouds and heat, and it's looking pretty nice for a change for a week. Next couple of days looking pretty seasonable in the low to mid 80s during the day and partly cloudy, so it's going to be pretty nice during the day and all through the weekend. Some seasonably cool temperatures in the evening with just partly cloudy overnight. So next 7 days looking pretty snazzy, y'all. Get out and enjoy the weather and have some fun.
Yeah, is this considered like fall for Tennessee?
I would say this is a little early taste of fall.
Yeah, I'm looking at like, what is that, lows in the 60s at night? I mean, it's a lot better than lows in the 80s at night. I run at night, and I come back drenched when I'm done running because it's so hot out still and humid. So maybe I won't be as drenched when I'm running throughout the weekend and next week. So good stuff, Rich. Thank you for that. And it's always nice to have good weather for sure, especially around here when it's either too hot or we have the storms or something's going on. But
yeah, this is a great week.
I want to take some questions that I see here. Another one from Lauren about the West Wilson Middle School. And so, Lauren, last week we met with the director of schools, the school principal, deputy director of schools, their safety team. Chief Mullins was there. I was there along with our city traffic engineers, and we came up with a new traffic plan for the school that will increase the queue traffic on the school grounds to keep Weston Drive open for Stoner Creek. It will also keep the queue traffic off of Mount Juliet Road and then also allow the buses quicker access in and out. That should take place Monday. The plan has been provided to the school. They're supposed to communicate that out to all the different parents. So hopefully next week we will see some relief in that aspect. If we don't see relief in this plan, there is a plan B. to increase even more queue on the school property. But we're hopeful with what we've seen throughout the week that this new plan will certainly get the traffic off of Weston Drive so Stoner Creek parents can get in and out much easier than they've been dealing with this week with all the early arrivals and just stacking out on Weston and out on Mount Juliet Road. So we'll see how it goes. Any other questions, folks? Just type those in the comments. Rich, Taylor, and I are here for you and to take any questions that you have.
See Gerald over there. What's up, Gerald?
Yeah, hope he's doing well. We hope you are too, my man. You know, it's interesting about the traffic enforcement. You know, I get to read social media comments every now and again, and sometimes I wish I didn't. But we emails and people that call us begging for more traffic enforcement in school zones, because when a police officer isn't there or doesn't spot the violation, they see cars that are speeding, they see drivers that are distracted, they see motorists passing school buses when the stop arms are out and the red lights are flashing. And then so we go out and do a lot of good school zone enforcement. And not everyone gets a ticket. Only 43% of the people, based off our stats, ended up with a citation for pretty serious violations, what I would think, in a school zone. And you read some negative comments on social media about, why are you out there? You got a quota, you know, you're trying to meet your bonus, you're trying to get your raise and all that stuff. And the interesting point of it is our chief of police, including myself, don't even really know what amount of revenue we bring in off citations. That's not our goal. That is not our goal. Our goal is to ensure that our community remains safe. And if you look at a recent study out of Nashville, since 2015, their proactive enforcement dropped 95%. Their violent crime went up. Their traffic crashes went up. Their injury crashes went up. And their fatalities went up in that community. We want a safe community here in Mount Juliet where we're not having people that are injured. We're not having people that are dying on our streets. We're not having children that are going to be hit by a car. And that's why we work so hard to keep our community as safe as we can. And that hard work requires proactivity. If you break the law, there are consequences. And if that officer sees that, they're going to stop you. And then that officer has a discretion whether they're going to write a citation or not. So we're going to do everything that we can to keep this city safe. And like I said, we get tons of different messages and community members who are concerned about our community's safety. They're concerned about crime. They're concerned about the bad driving that they see. And then I've been able to go out and observe a lot of the school zones and help with West Wilson Middle School. And a lot of times I'm watching and traffic's flowing, but there's a car stopped and it's delaying traffic from flowing. And I look in that vehicle through the window and the person's distracted on their phone. And none of us are perfect. I get it. I really do. But we all have to do better to drive safer. And that means putting that phone down. And when you see traffic moving and others don't, they're distracted and they're not moving. And that's holding up the other traffic. It really does. Then I get the comments about, why do y'all enforce seatbelt violations? All I had in my car, it was me and my kid. Folks, I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but I've been to traffic crashes where the parent didn't have their seatbelt on and their child in the back was buckled up in a car seat. And that child left the driver's seat, or excuse me, the parent left the driver's seat and then flew back in the back seat and hit their child and injured their child. So if you're not strapped down in a car, you are a projectile to everything else in that vehicle that is strapped down. So folks who aren't belted in cars are a hazard, and it is dangerous. And when you have wrecks, all that momentum and energy involved in those wrecks does something to the body, and it sends it all throughout the vehicle. I've seen bodies ejected. I don't even know how they got ejected or the mechanics of it, but it ended up ejected. And that's something that keeps you safe. So I would encourage everyone to please wear your seatbelt. It's important, especially wear your seatbelt if your kids are in the car, because if you don't, you can injure them in traffic crashes. But be careful, folks. We were here to protect this community. If you have any concerns, reach out to me. Reach out to our chief. Many people do, but when they do reach out to us, they are pleading for more efforts to keep this city safe. And we are working as hard as we can. We have a great, wonderful team that gets out there and risks their life every single day to keep this city safe. And they don't really know if they're going home at night. And you never know what call comes over the radio. there could be a call right now that requires an officer to put his life on the line for everyone else in our community just to keep this safe. And they know that, and they realize what they signed up for. I'm just so grateful. There are good people in our community, in our world, who sign up to go and serve others. And we want our officers to serve people the right way. And we're going to do everything to serve people with respect and dignity, with the best training as possible, so we can truly be the best police department serving the best community around. And Mount Juliet is a great community. It's great because all the wonderful people that live here. So with all that we've dealt with this week with back to school and the negativity on social media, I hope to see more positivity come out of all of that. And we keep focusing forward and doing what we can to control the 26 square miles of what we call the city of Mount Juliet, Tennessee, where it is a great, wonderful community. So thank you all for joining the live. And if you have any questions, type that back in. I see something from Kat about the next women's self-defense class. Rich, Taylor, do any of you know about that one?
I don't think it's scheduled yet, but don't hold me to that.
Okay, I'm checking the website just to check real quick.
I texted Corporal Schneider, but haven't heard back yet.
Okay, my guess it'll be in the fall. They did the spring session, so it'll probably be in the fall. So, Kat, just stay tuned to our social media. Hopefully, it'll be. My guess is going to be around October. That's typically when it is. It's in the spring, April, May-ish, and then October-ish. So hopefully we'll see it pipe up in October. Then Mickey just with the thanks for gathering at Jackson Hills earlier this week, and we were glad to be out there. Thank you. Rich, what do you have happening?
Oh, I'm going to probably get out and work the road this evening a little bit, and then gearing up for the fair next week. So if you guys do a live next week, I'll be out at the fair because fair starts on Thursday. So hope to see everybody out at the fair. Come out and see me out at the state fair. You'll see me riding around out there taking care of people.
Awesome. Well, maybe you and Lebanon can get on the live and talk about the fair a little bit with us in the traffic.
Hey, we'll make it happen.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Taylor, what are you doing to celebrate?
I don't really have any plans. I had lunch today with some of the folks that I work with, and
good.
Nothing crazy going on. So we'll see.
For folks who joined us later in the broadcast, it's Taylor's birthday, so we all wish her a happy birthday. And she's not showing her age, but she said some people go through the comments and guess it. I don't know if you want people guessing.
Someone did guess. They guessed, but they weren't right.
Right. Rich said 22. John said
That's
31.
awfully sweet, Rich. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Right. Well, good deal. Hopefully you and Oakley can have a good time. And I know you'll probably spend some time with Oakley this weekend and your friends. Rich, and you'll be out and about working. And I'll be out tonight too, working as well. It's a good, beautiful night, and I like to get out there and work with the teams. There's Connie chiming in.
Thank you.
Former dispatchers. Her son works for us, and Connie works for the city. She did a great job here when she was a dispatcher. Everyone hated to see her transfer over to the city side of government, but at least we have her son serving as a police officer. He does a great job. Well, good stuff. Rich, would you like to close it out? Hang on, let me get the music queued up. Hang on.
So I think it's Taylor's turn. I got last time, so it's all.
It's my birthday. Don't make
birthday.
I need like a happy birthday song. I don't have that.
You can sing for us.
No. Maybe Rich, can you sing?
Rich, come on.
If there's no adult beverages around, no singing happens.
Well, we're not going to do that. Yeah, there are something. Good deal. Well, I guess I'll close it out.
Yeah, you got it. You're the pro.
And I'm not the pro. No, I got the entertainment. That's why I have to have y'all along. I'd only have like one viewer. I didn't have Rich or you here. So anyway, folks, have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe. We live in a wonderful community, and don't forget that we do. And I know we get distracted by all that's on social media. whether it's real information or fake information, and sometimes it can be a lot, but you have to take a step back and realize how beautiful it is, and how safe our community is compared to other communities, and what to be grateful for, from our school systems to all the different amenities that we have, the hardworking men and women of this department, our public safety teams at the fire department, and the advanced medical service that we have in this city. I don't think you can go to many cities and have what you have for how cheap you get it, because our taxes are extremely low, and all of our teams do so much with less, and we're just trying to do the best we can to serve our community as best as we can, to be the best, right? If we don't strive to be the best, what are you striving to be? And that's why I love working here. We have a very wonderful community that supports us all the time. So we're here for you. If you need anything, we want you to reach out to us and let us know that you need something, folks. So have a safe weekend. Enjoy the wonderful weather, and we will see you all soon. Take care.
Out there when the water flows higher than it ought to be. And for my brothers and my sisters barely keeping it together, trapped in the time of need, cause when it's you and me, we're community strong. When it's you and me,